welcome back to Spekd. Today we're looking at Warhammer Conquest issue number 29. Ooh, spicy models. Let's get this open, let's have a look. So sprue time. Now looking at the sprue, we can see we've got so many characters on one sprue, and this is just brilliant. I mean, it's really deceptive. You look at this, you don't think there's much on it, but actually you've got like Captain and you've got 3 other characters to help to complete your squads. Now, your Primaris squads that you've already been collecting. You've got your large bases, which I managed to pick up. Oh my goodness. The small bases, I knew it, I spoke too soon. I should have just left it. But seeing that you've got the, I think it's the Interceptor, the flying model, hopefully you kept the stand. Otherwise it's going to be a bit difficult to keep that together. Anyway, that's the sprue. Again, nice and clean. It's 2017. If we can get the focus there. There we go. Nice. And yeah, I'm looking forward to putting those together. Alright, so we have a few models here. I say few, we've got 4 good models here. What I've noticed with all of these kind of Conquest magazines, if they've got a painting or a piece of artwork, more than likely you've got a paint or, you know, nothing major. But then the moment that you have actual models, you have models in the set. As I said, it's still $7.99, and I did kind of mess this up a touch because I pulled it open all excited just to have a quick look, ripped it. So anyway, so let's have a look. We've got our information on the captains, looking at war, second company, that's good. Plague bearers, champions, nice. We've got the Space Marine officers, so how to build them. We've got our paint section and we've got our battles. So this could be quite interesting, especially if we're using our lieutenant that we had earlier. So we're getting like re-rolls, but let's not get ahead. Let's have a look. Okay, Space Marine captains. So this section, just, I mean, that's just beautiful artwork. Okay, having a moment. So this is part of our Space Marine hero section. So this is telling you about what they do, their abilities, the weaponry, and how they act. These are like the best of the best of the best, sir. And if you think of like Men in Black, how you had like the elite from all different of the parts of the military forces and only chose the best, that's what these guys are. Even though they're very much Space Marines, they're still, I would say, more inherently possess more genes like their Primarch father. I'll just leave it as that. But there's a lovely piece of artwork. They've got heraldry, shoulder pads, the pauldrons, the different things that they have, weapons, armor. I mean, they can pretty much choose whatever weapons they want. I mean, they're the captains, so they're really in charge of like large chapters, and they get to do as they choose. But to take up a sword and go into battle, that is pretty hardcore. It's like an obvious "I'm gonna cut you" kind of like motif to the opponent, to the enemies. And it's just the confidence of someone just strolling across a battlefield with all the weapons going off and all the bullets, and they're just going to march over to you and chop you. That's just horrible, but awesome at the same time. Alright, sorry, going off on one there. Okay, so let's have a look. So we've got a little chat there about the chapters, the different makeup there. It's good to see the white scars there. See all the different ones. Good, so we've got the history of the Crusade. We got the Ultramarines Second Company. Now this I haven't actually seen because Ultramarines is not the army that I normally run or play. So it's good to see this, and this is like a real good breakdown. If you wanted to have an army, you could model it after this and you could build up after that. It's totally up to you. Ooh, look at that. And there's a second amount. And they've got a nice combination of veterans, mini Marines, and Primaris. Assault Marines, and that's good to see. So they haven't like ostracized the original vets. So if you've been playing this before, or you was into Warhammer 40k and you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to be with Primaris, they're kind of giving you a way in, you know, to kind of just subtly add some to the army. And one thing that Primaris don't have at the moment are these special weapons like grav guns, melters. They probably will turn up in the future, but for now, that's the only way you can access them. Have a look at dreadnoughts. I'm surprised that they didn't put in a couple of Primaris dreadnoughts. But you know, they've got the story there, that as regards to what it is, how they got there. Got some more combat stories here, Champions Collide. So this is definitely going to be your captain that you currently have facing off against the Nurgle champion. And a little story there. Yeah, there you go, there's a story. So again, I won't spoil it, but that gives you a nice little look at what your captain could be if you paint them up properly, or as to your choosing. We have Plague Bearers. Now, I mentioned before that these were like the manifestation of their the god Nurgle. So it's like taking that warp essence, that dream essence, and turn it into something physical. That's what these guys are about. And one thing that makes them really dangerous is normally the demons in general tend to vanish after a while if there's no more motivating factor. But because they're about giving disease and pestilence and kind of the gift of Nurgle to people, it passes on that disease and they become like warp touched if they contract that disease. So it's kind of strange, but it means that they can stay around for a long time. Fire is a good weapon for these guys, but they tend to be a lot tougher anyway. So they might have some information on summoning. I think we remember last time I spoke about summoning for the mission, but it didn't have it. But these are normally summoned into existence or come around places with high pestilence or high war. So that's really nice to see. I wonder, well, they're not going to add these in, as you can see, but I think these are like a variation of the Poxwalkers. I mean, Poxwalkers are the contaminated people. These are the contaminators, so to speak. And if you've got a lot of not Poxwalkers, these Plague Bearers, and you're thinking about buying Poxwalkers, I would just use these instead. Speak to your opponent and just say, hey, look, you know, do you mind if I use these? But then use the stats of the Poxwalkers. Sorry, just rambling off there. Right, we've got our builds there. So we have our Intercessor Sergeant and Hellblaster Sergeant. Easy, getting lots of sergeants here. Captain and an Interceptor Sergeant. So we're basically, this is actually quite a prime issue. Alright, okay. So you've got your build paint sections there. They've already told you to start off with your base coat of Macragge blue, but obviously if you're doing Blood Angels, which I'm going to be doing, I'll be painting it totally different. I think I'll get those together and I'll show you at the end. So there they are. I like the way they're set up. So far you have enough paints to get these on the tabletop and just feel good about it. You know, but always keep coming back to add to them. You can have a habit whereas once you've painted these, you kind of like put them aside and you don't come back to them. Obviously you play with them, they get scuffed, they get chipped. You can always seal them as well, or just put them in a special drawer, put them on top of your wardrobe. Just put them somewhere that reminds you to come back and paint when you get more new paints. Otherwise you'll just leave it. That could take a lot of fun out of it, I suppose. And at the same time, the more time that you put into these, like painting, that generates more hobby time for you. So, you know, if you spend like 15 minutes painting them and you're rushing, then you kind of lose out all that hobby time of like, you know, detail work and little bits like that. I mean, you know, there's no point rushing. You've got a whole week until the next issue, so enjoy it. Well, I certainly do. Right, okay. So we've got our rules, mission rules there, and look at that. That's pretty much what we've got in a minute. And that's looking so nice. It's like really coming along as a little battlefield. So there's the battle setting. So let's have a look. Lord Felfius, Tainted Cohort, Foul Blightspawn, 2 units of 3 Plague Marines, 12 Poxwalkers, versus 2 units of 3 Intercessors, 3 Hellblasters, 2 Interceptors, the Lieutenant, yeah, the exclusive Lieutenant, and the Captain. I thought so. Yeah, so we're getting quite a little kind of, I would say like a diverse bit of play here, because we started out with lots of vehicles recently and we've had lots of different things being involved, and now we're going back to the characters really to focus on their capabilities. It's nice there. We've got the captain's capabilities, which I don't get too much into there, but again, lovely piece of artwork. I think really they should put these on all the sheets so you can remember what the character looks like. Otherwise you can have loads of data sheets, but if you're not used to the names and the characters, it can really slow things down. If you've got a printer and you're new, just take little pictures of your models, print them and stick them on there next to your data sheet so you know what your models look like and what they should be doing. That's actually come to an end already. I think it's because it had a lot of paint information, a lot of history. Well, that was good. Okay, so seeing it come to an end already, I think I better build the models and then take a closer look. All right. And this is them all painted up. It's such a nice little collection of models. It looks really good. I mean, I had so much fun. I did try a new effect, and it's kind of like a combination of comic highlighting color plus a little bit of non-metal metal. It didn't quite work out in either case, but together they worked out really well. All the effects, so the whites really pop and the colors or the red still stay very rich, and there's lots of gradients. Closer up you can see that more in play. One thing I did notice is that the guy coming round is at the back there now is actually a lieutenant for the Blood Angels, and it was so surprising to see that. Some of you might wonder why I painted it plasma yellow. It's just colour of the sun. I enjoy it. But yeah, this guy here, he is actually a lieutenant for the Blood Angels. It's like a free extra character. It's amazing. And we just finish out there, and I really like that model now. What can I say? This has been one of the best issues so far. I think it is the best issue so far from Hachette. It's amazing. You've got all of those models, Captain, and this works out to be a Primaris Lieutenant if you're on it, Blood Angels. That's just awesome. Now, I have more than one copy. This one's going to be for the 400th giveaway, so that could be yours. All I want you to do is give this video a thumbs up, share it, that would be really nice. In the comments below, if you could put inspected, there you go. In your comment, that will automatically enter you into random prize draw. And once I hit the 400, I'll come back to this video and randomly select one of the comments. I've enjoyed my time. I hope you've enjoyed your time. This has been amazing value. I've had so much fun. Anyway, enjoy your week. You still here? Do you want this issue? This issue with your Conquest models? Is that what you need in your life? If you need this in your life, not money, not friends, not even relationships or children. If you just need this, comment below. Be subscribed. Share this to as many people as possible. And I'll enter you into a competition. Randomly generated 2 weeks from now. Today is the 5th. That's right. And if you win this, you will be the coolest. Yeah.